If you are a young and an enthusiastic rider, at one point or the other, you must have desired a sports bike. But the problem was there haven't been too many around, which were either affordable or at an entry level. But not anymore. Hyosung has launched the GT250R, which is a complete sports bike, and it's affordable too. What I have with me today is what the company calls the new Hyosung GT250R. Well, it's not really a new bike as you'd expect, but it's a bike where a little bit of value addition has been done in terms of the body graphics and also new color schemes. There are now 3 new color schemes you can get the bike in, and also the headlamp has changed. As it is, the GT250R is not a bad looking bike at all. It's a proper sports bike with a nice bulging tank, clip-on handles and an upswept exhaust. Overall, these additions will only make the GT250R a little more attractive. The Hyosung GT250R is a sports bike targeted at the young and all those who like to see the speedo go into triple digits in a matter of few seconds. In India, there are a host of bikes available ranging from the big engine cruisers to super bikes, and in between there are entry-level bikes in almost all segments. The Hyosung GT250R is one such sports bike in this segment. The instrumentation cluster here is a combination of analog and digital, and I quite like it because it's large dial and easy to read. Even the digital font is quite big, which makes it very convenient while you are riding. But what I would have liked to see in here is a gear shift indicator. The Hyosung GT250R looks quite good with a full fairing and a low seating position. But being just a 250cc machine is a far cry from the thoroughbred sports bikes available in India now. But the good part is that it still offers an enthusiastic ride and is a good bike to learn the ropes on before graduating to a much faster super bike. The Hyosung GT250R here is powered by a parallel twin 249cc motor which produces about 28 brake horsepower. It's not the kind of a power which will make you drool, but actually if you look at the 250cc category, this kind of power is just about average. It's not bad. But what is very important here is not the amount of power or the torque that it produces, but how she goes about doing that. And now it's my turn to go ride this one and tell you exactly how she rides. In terms of ergonomics, the GT250R is quite spot on and you can really lean the bike through the corners. The seating is comfortable and all controls are within easy reach. But what I don't really like about the engine is that it's a bit unrefined, especially at the lower revs, and it sounds a bit harsh. But in terms of power delivery, it's quite linear and it easily revs up to the red line of over 10,500 RPM. The top end is strong, with the bike getting close to the 150 km mark quite easily. This is actually quite an enthusiastic machine. Turn on the throttle and you can see the revs building up immediately. All I can say is that you will not be disappointed when you open the throttle. In terms of handling, it stays quite planted even at high speeds, and even though the bike weighs in at 188 kgs, you don't really feel the weight, and it's easy to chuck it around the corners. The tires on the rear provide adequate grip, and what I really like is the very reassuring feel of the brakes. In fact, the rear too has a disc, which is not always the case in a bike in this category. So what do I have to say about this GT250R after riding it? Firstly, keep in mind that if you desire a sports bike, this is the only one available as an entry-level sports bike in the Indian market. And in terms of design, she looks quite nice. In fact, she's designed like a proper sports bike, so you won't be disappointed with the looks at all. Secondly, in terms of performance, she is quite good for a 250cc motorbike. It has enough top end, about 150 plus kilometers. The low end is quite nice and torquey. She looks the part. She is a proper sports bike in every sense of the term. And you can really have nice, good ergonomics while driving it. Thirdly, she is quite affordable at 2.76 lakhs at showroom Delhi. It's not a bad pricing for a bike style like this. So what is it that doesn't really find favor with me? To begin with, the engine. I would have preferred a bit more refinement in the engine, especially at the low end of the rev band. When you start the bike, it does sound a bit rough and raspy, but of course it gets a whole lot better once the revs build up and you start cruising. Secondly, some of you might have a problem with this brand name Hyosung, because after all, Hyosung is not a very big name in motorcycling. But let me tell you, in terms of build quality, in terms of performance, this bike doesn't lack anything. And if she had sported a much fancier brand name, the price could have been much higher. So you are getting a proper bike with this Hyosung brand, which is really nice to ride and very good to look at. The best part about the Hyosung GT250R is that it is priced at Rs 2.76 lakhs, which by sports bike standard is quite an attractive price tag. And this is what we feel will make it attractive for all those who want to be astride a cool superbike and make their statement. As we said, in terms of riding too, it does come up with an acceptable performance. So if you are looking for an entry-level sports bike, the Hyosung GT250R can be a viable alternative.